Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Prepared. Thanks for watching. So today I thought I would make this little video and kind of see where everyone is on their prepping for this year. What plans do you have? What are you doing currently to further your preps? And this video is probably going to be a pretty good rambling video, so I apologize in advance for that. But so far this year, I have been concentrating on spring cleaning. And what I consider spring cleaning is I've bought this house. I've been in this house almost 10 years, and I've accumulated a lot of junk. So I'm going through now trying to clean out a lot of the clutter and a lot of stuff that I don't need, just to make room for things I do need, right? So that's one of the things I've been working on so far this year. As part of spring cleaning, I also consider going through my food, right? I'm going through, I don't like to use the word stockpile in food, because stockpile makes it harder for your mind to use that food. So I call it a store of food. Going through the stores of food we have and getting rid of things that are expired, or making note of things that are getting ready to expire, so we know we have to eat those first. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I recommend basing most of your food storage on food that you eat every day. And with that in mind, we buy food that we eat all the time. We just buy extra of it. And a lot of times what happens is, you're in a rush, you're back from the grocery store, you've got 12 other things you need to do, so you're trying to get those groceries put away as quickly as possible so you can go on to your next thing, and things fall in the cracks. They don't get rotated properly. So we take this time to go through, check those expiration dates, make sure we don't have any food that's expired or getting ready to expire. If it's getting ready to expire in the next several months, we know that, we need to work that into our weekly menus and get rid of that stuff. One of the other things I recommend while you're doing this, cleaning out your fridge and your refrigerators, freezers, that kind of thing, pay attention, because if you have a combination refrigerator freezer, the freezer in that does not store food as well as a dedicated freezer, because there's a temperature difference. The standalone freezer, you're able to dial down a lot colder, and it really makes a big difference in the longevity of the food that is in there. So I cleaned a lot of stuff out of my combo freezer and made a lot of room in my refrigerator. So we're off to a good start there. But while you're doing that, I always recommend make an inventory of what you have. And you can make that inventory as complicated or as simple as you like. However your mind works and processes information, work to that. I divide food into 3 different categories. We have our everyday food that we eat that's what we make our meals with every day. That should be the majority of the food. After we get a good quantity of that, I recommend filler food. Filler food is like your rice, your beans, your canned meats, canned pastas, soups, things like that you can help fill in the gaps in what you eat every day. And then the third is your long shelf life food, your MREs, your freeze-dried foods, things like that. So get that inventory going so you can sit down, look at what your goals were from last year of where you wanted to be on your preps, and see where you're at. Maybe you did better than you thought you were going to. Maybe you didn't do quite as well. So use that information to adjust your goals for this coming year, right? Maybe you have more long shelf life food than you thought you would. So maybe you can turn that down a little bit and get more of your everyday food, or, however you need to adjust your purchases and what you eat on a daily basis. That's what I'm working on now. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I do want to expand how much everyday food we have. I want to get that up to about 6 months worth of everyday food. We have several cases of MREs and some freeze-dried food on the side that we are doing pretty well on. One of the things we've talked about doing for this year is adding a freeze dryer. We've talked about it quite a bit because it's an expensive purchase. They're about $2,500 on sale. So they have a sale going on right now at Harvest Right. If you would like to check into that, if you've been thinking about a freeze dryer, get it while it's on sale. So we're looking at that, and I will keep you guys updated on if we get that, how it works, what we think of it, and how everything goes from there. The second thing we want to work on right now is gardening. January, February is the time in Missouri that you want to start a lot of your foods. If you're going from seeds, you want to get them started now. So I have several tomato plants, some bell pepper, and some jalapeno peppers that I have started. And my idea on these, excuse me, once I transfer them into pots, which the tomatoes are about ready to transfer into pots, I want to do some different soil types on them, see how the same plants that were planted at the same time do differently in different soil types. And one of those is in compost. Now, last year, one of the things we added to our prepping supplies was a countertop composter. It's only about a gallon tall, but as you're cooking your meals, you're peeling potatoes, you throw your potato skins in there, whatever you have, ends off of carrots. If you have the outer layers of lettuce or some bad lettuce, you throw them in there, and in 2 or 3 hours, you have compost. So we've been saving up making compost all winter. We don't have a whole lot of it because honestly, when you fill that 1 gallon up, say you use it full of lettuce, when it's done making it into the compost, you've got about a tablespoon of compost. So it really takes a lot of it to make any compost, but I'm going to see how it does for the tomatoes. Other than that, microgreens. I've been trying different microgreens. If you don't know what microgreens are, they're micro varieties of different things. I know I have broccoli, cabbage, purple radishes, some different lettuce mixes. And what it is they're hydroponically grown, and you only let them get about maybe that tall when you harvest them, and you can mix them in with salads. A friend of mine recommended the purple radish. When you harvest those, put them on your hamburger instead of lettuce, and he said it's amazing. Those that I've tasted, the purple radish, it has almost like a black pepper kind of spicy to it. It's really, really good. The first batch of microgreens I grew did really, really well. They all grew pretty well, and we were able to eat some. Every other batch I've started since then have not gone as well, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I've got to change some things up and get my microgreens back on track. Some of the other things we have planned is last year we put up a greenhouse. We kind of cut it close to when we needed the greenhouse, so we didn't do a lot of the things inside that we needed. So this year I need to do some work on the floor of the greenhouse, and I also want to put in some shelving units that will help hold containers for plants and things like that. Another thing is we have one raised bed. I want to add another raised bed beside it. I'm thinking, wide enough where we can walk comfortably in between the two and connect them with a woven wire mesh. That way, on that woven wire, we can grow cucumbers, green beans, or something, and they'll climb up the woven wire, and then you just walk between, and you can pick your vegetables that way. So that's what I have planned for gardening. We'll see how they go. I always recommend, if you're looking at your garden and you don't know what to plant, if you do a quick Google search, you can find a list, and it explains what all you need to plant to grow a year's worth of food for a family of 4. I recommend download that list, check it out. You might not have room or time to grow that large of a garden, and that's fine, but that will allow you to at least see where where you fall on a year-long scale, which is always good to have in mind. So plan your garden, get your stuff now. Hopefully, if you needed more potting soil or tools or things like that, you got them last fall when everything was on sale. But if not, get it now. A lot of the stores are putting that stuff out, so get it before they run out. Work on those. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is your hobbies. I like to recommend to people, try to steer your hobbies into things that will help with your prepper lifestyle. The best hobby you can do for prepping is camping. And I say, especially if you haven't done much camping or stuff before, camping is a great way to start, because when you go to a campground, you can still learn to cook on your camp stove, learn to build a fire from scratch, right? Do all these things, but you also know you can walk a couple hundred yards up the hill and you have a bathroom, you have a shower. So you're not totally cut off from everything out in the dark, but it allows you to start developing your outdoor skills. If you've been camping for a while and you're looking to up your outdoor skills, look at overlanding. Overlanding, you don't go to a campground normally. You load up, normally it's a four-wheel drive vehicle because you can get more places that way. Maybe a rooftop tent on your truck. You load up everything you need and you go. And you're out there, you don't have electricity unless you have solar panels or something like that. But it's a real good way to get your skills developed. One of the things I am working on currently is 3D printing. So last January at my work, we got a $3,500 3D printer, and we use it to make little parts and things like that. So I've spent the last year learning how to run a 3D printer and how to do 3D design, small parts and things like that. A couple of months ago, a friend of mine had a 3D printer he had bought and then decided he wanted a larger model with more options. So I was able to pick up a Creality Ender 3 printer for pretty cheap, but I got it set up and doing some prints with it. I've learned that there's a very, very big difference in a $3,000 printer and a $300 printer. So the printer I have at home, I have to do a lot more manual settings, things like that. So I'm still working through those, but there are all kinds of things you can print that will help with your prepping lifestyle or your everyday carry, things like that. Some of the things I've printed like that, this is a seed starter. You can see you just screw on a regular water bottle and it'll water all 6 of these little compartments. You can grow your seeds from there. One of the things I like is a little carabiner that I printed. Not strong enough to climb with, but I like to keep little cheap carabiners around. They come in extremely handy if you want to hang up your backpack or hang things like that. They work extremely well. Another thing I carry around with me, this is just a little spool holder for 550 cord. One thing to watch out, I keep this in my bag and I throw my bag around a lot. You see I already broke off one of the little arms, and this is just a ladder shape, right? And this small one will hold probably 10 yards of 550 cord. 550 cord I keep on it. If you look in, it has one red fiber in here. If you can make that out. That red fiber is actually fire starter. If you throw a spark on there, it lights up really well to help start a fire. One thing you can do, you can also print different sizes. So here's a larger one that'll hold more cord if you wanted that. This is another little thing I printed. It's just a small little credit card size knife, spork, even has a little toothpick in it. Little cute things like that to print. Other things that I carry around all the time. This is a small little pill case. It has a lid that locks in and slides, and you keep your pills in there. One thing I discovered, this is also just the right size if you want to carry any driver bits. This is a good size for driver bits. Then of course, when I took that, I also printed a larger version of it just to have a little storage container. I don't know what I'm going to store in there yet, but I have it. One thing I do like to carry, this is a little Olight flashlight. They give them away all the time with your orders, but it's a pretty bright little flashlight. I decided to start carrying these in all my jacket pockets, and I wanted something else to put on the keychain, so I just printed these little whistles. It's okay whistle. It's not super loud, but it's loud enough to work for a whistle. Other things you can do, this is a wallet. I took the outside panel off to show you. It has a little slide lever on the side. If I can get it to work here, you pull the little lever and it pops your cards up. So you can just grab your cards. Currently I just have gift cards in here, so if we want to go eat dinner, we got our gift cards. This is another little box I designed and drew. Use it to keep my property tax receipts in, because here in Missouri we need those to get our car registration done. A little pry bar. This one is actually 250%. It was normally a small pry bar. I thought I had one, but I guess it's still in my bag. But I use these at work all the time to pry parts off of Velcro. Any little things like that you can think of, you can 3D draw and print in plastic, and it's really pretty cool. So there we go. What else do I have planned for this year? One of the things I need to replace is, this is a DB Power battery. It's a jump starter for your car. I actually needed to use this last week on my truck. The battery had died, and when I got it, the case was cracked open, and when I opened it, I noticed the battery is really swollen inside. So kind of worried about keeping that around, so I'll be replacing that this year. One thing I got that is really, really cool, works out great. This is the Vertex Last Line flannel. They just redesigned it. It's a little bit stretchy now, but both pockets, if you can see, have a pin slot in both of the chest pockets. And I just got this Olight O-Clip Pro. Pretty cool little flashlight. It has a spotlight, a red light, and a floodlight. So different options you can do on the light, and it fits perfectly in that little pinhole. I don't know if you can see it in there. The camera's acting funky, but I thought that was really cool that it was able to fit itself into that little pin slot in your chest pocket, and right there it shines the light right in front of you. Not as precise if you're turning your head or whatever, but it works when I go out and walk the dog at night or things like that. So that's a pretty cool little deal. Other thing I'm thinking of changing this year, if you guys know, typically Glock 19 in the last line of defense appendix holster. I'm really debating on changing my Glock 19. I've carried it for a lot of years. It's my favorite handgun that I own, that I shoot all the time. Thinking of replacing it with something smaller, leaning towards the SIG P365X or the Glock 43X. So if you have either of those, let me know what you think of it, how it is to carry it. That kind of thing. Other than that, my everyday carry stays the same. You guys know, if you see my pants videos, QSP Penguin Plus is still my go-to knife. I'm debating getting a different knife to carry, just because in the last few months, this knife has now tasted blood, and it seems to want to cut me every time I use it. So might be getting a new knife. Stay tuned for that. Flashlight, still the Olight Arcfeld. Still running strong, still loving it. Love how it rides in my pocket. So that won't be going anywhere for a while. I do have an Arcfeld Ultra, but I'm still carrying the Pro just because there's no reason to replace it. So that is what I have for this week. And before I go, I just want to let you guys know, Thank you so much for watching. All you guys that have left comments, asked questions, shared the video, subscribed to the channel, all of those things, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. Also, down below, I will put links for most of these things that I have. Thank you guys so much for using those links. My Amazon affiliate account just got approved. So if you don't know what the affiliate links are, they are just links to different products that I only put things that I own and that I've tried and that I like. But if you click on those links and you go and you purchase something, it does take a few pennies out of Amazon's pocket and gives it to the channel. And that just lets me get more things to do these videos for you guys. But more importantly, even if you're not going to purchase something, click on some links down below. I have one for a few different places. I think I have one for Olight and QSP. But click on those links and get the engagement rate up, because I can take that data when I show that a channel drives traffic to a particular place. I can use that data and go to other companies and try to get working relationships with them and hopefully get you guys some discounts on some good quality gear and save you a little bit of money. So please use the links. And again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If there's something you want to hear me talk about, let me know. And, once again, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you watching, and thank you so much. And until next time, take care.